February 2020, Melly was involved in a multi-inmate fight inside the day room of his area unit and was given a DR for his role in the fight. October 2020, placed on a room restriction for refusing to go back to his cell as he was trying to hide while on the phone.
And developing now, there's a new push to get rapper YNW Melly out of jail. He's currently awaiting retrial for two childhood friends, but a new lawsuit alleges he's being held in inhumane conditions.
Melly was not only just snitched on by a former friend, but he was also targeted in jail. The report reads, YNW Melly was targeted inside jail today. Sources claim he was targeted for commissary goods or block authority. What happens often in jail is that when someone new comes into a cell block, they go after the biggest or most popular person to make a name for themselves. But here's where it gets strange. An email would leak after YNW Bortlen accepted his plea deal against Melly, which reads, given Bortlen's plea deal and proffer agreement, we request his deposition as soon as possible. Given the circumstances, we are concerned for his safety, so we would like to facilitate it in the next 30 days. Please advise if you will continue to represent all of these defendants. Meaning the prosecutors think Bortlen will get caught lacking in his cell block before delivering an incriminating proffer against Melly, but in reality, it was Melly who got targeted. But investigators believe this was planned, because Melly's been close to receiving a bond agreement. He got so confident that he was going to be released that he ordered a $100,000 chain for when he gets out, as his brother spoke about it.
I would assume
that
he spent a lot of money on lawyers. Like an amount that would probably...
That kid spent a lot of money on a lot of things that shouldn't have been spent on.
Really? Like what else?
And cars, jewelry. And he's not even out to wear the jewelry. I'm like, why are you buying jewelry and you're not here to wear the jewelry?
No, definitely lawyers are probably the best thing you can spend
That's
money
what
on.
bro. But he's good with lawyers, bro. Like, money ain't an issue for lawyers. Like, he's fine, but it's just like, there was a lot of stuff that should have went to lawyers that he didn't spend on lawyers. And I'm like, bro. And now it's like, he don't even want the chain no more.
The reason for Melly's possible release is because he sued the county jail, as he exposed them in a statement reading, Melly sues the Broward Sheriff's Office for cruel treatment and is seeking immediate release from prison. Melly claims they have not allowed him to speak with any family members in 3 years, as they describe Melly as living in a freezing cold jail cell with little to no edible food or human contact. Another statement wrote, an interview from Melly's mother paints a disturbing picture of Melly's life in jail, making it sound like he won't last much longer. She hates that they aren't treating Melly right. He doesn't have privileges to use a daily phone call or look at mail he receives.
My son has not been convicted of anything, and even other inmates that have been convicted or anything, they have the right to use a telephone. They have a right to just to be allowed to write letters to their loved ones, to receive their mail. They hold his mail, they don't give it to him.
It's heartbreaking for his mother, and she feels terrible for how he's treated.
When you saw Melly's statement, just saying how he's been hurt, how he's scared for his life, as a mother, how did that make you feel?
It's heartbreaking. It made me feel completely helpless. Broward Sheriff's Office definitely needs to be investigated. I mean, they are making up their own rules. We've tried to go to court about this situation. The judge really doesn't have any jurisdiction when it comes to the jail, because we actually had a hearing about the mistreatment of him, and the jail they make their own rules. And I don't think that's fair, because I know that they need to answer to someone too.
But Melly's story got a lot of media attention, which is why Charleston White spoke on Melly's conditions in jail.
The YNW Melly, I'm so happy he in jail getting mistreated. Yeah, I'm so happy he in jail getting mistreated, homie. Homie, when you take a life, homie, you ain't got a right to complain about a motherfucking thing about being mistreated when you done chose to play somebody.
But it also got Boozie's attention, who felt how hard it must be on his mom.
Okay, so
then I met his mama while he was in.
Oh, okay.
I met his mom while he was in, and she real, bro. You know, she real.
She's stressed out. I heard she had a...
Yeah, she real, and I reached my hand out to him, cause I'm real. Yeah, I reached out to him, bro. I met his mom, and she a good woman, bro. And when I see them mamas like that, it remind me of what my mom was going through, bro.
But with Melly retaliating by suing the sheriff's office, they made his situation worse. It turns out Melly's ex-girlfriend arrived back to the United States just recently and they arrested her.
Mariah Hamilton is spending her first day at the Broward County Jail. She has no arrest record until now. U.S. Border Patrol agents arrested her at Miami International Airport Monday after she arrived on an international flight. Court records show Hamilton was ordered to testify in Demon's first trial in 2023.
The judge made a deal with his ex-girlfriend Mariah that states she must attend Melly's next trial. This is terrible news for Melly, as his ex-girlfriend knows a lot about the night of the crime. After she got out, she wrote to Facebook saying, "Thank you to my village. I love y'all so much. God's plan, not mine." The reason they want Mariah in the case is because they claim Melly witness tampered with her to get her out of the country. She was supposed to testify in Melly's first trial but fled the country instead. The witness tampering is a separate charge from the crimes related to Sack Chaser and Juvie's passings, meaning even if he's found not guilty for the main crime, he could still face life in jail on the witness tampering charge.
The state filing 6 new charges against Demons and 2 others who were allegedly involved. The charges include tampering with a witness, directing the activities of a criminal, solicitation or conspiracy to commit tampering, and unlawful use of a two-way communication device. Now, a couple of those charges actually carry a life in prison sentence if there's a conviction.
What's interesting is Juvie's father knew Melly witnessed tampered over a year ago, as he claimed that Melly used code words on the jail phone to talk about Mariah.
There was this kind of crazy way that Melly was communicating. He wasn't allowed to use the phone, but he was passing notes to people, and then this person's calling this person and then that person.
Saying like to me, they going through extreme measures, trying to cover up or convince people not to testify, like Mariah mom. They was using code words like Rihanna and A$AP Rocky's baby mom. And
with this presented to the judge, it took a massive hit on Melly's chances of a bond. On top of that, the prosecutors added more evidence. They reminded the judge that they have evidence of Melly admitting to the crime over Instagram.
The PC Gambino account asked him if he was okay, and his response was, "I did that," and placed a smiley face emoji.
And the next message from 10/26/2018 at 16:02 from Eastern Standard Time. The YNW Melly count says what?
After that, SHHHH.
But with the feds having Bortlen snitching, they will ask why Melly looked so happy only hours after the crime happened.
Melly still turned regardless of what happened this early morning. He's still out here being very positive. Turned still. Hey! The dog still turned, regardless of what happened. You already know.
Melly didn't show a bit of sadness for his 2 best friends. But there's more incriminating evidence of Melly. 30 minutes before the crime, Melly's seen exiting the studio and sitting in the back left of the Jeep waiting for Sack Chaser, Juvie, and Bortlen to hop in. The reason it's important that Melly gets in the back left seat is because of the court document reading, "The direction of the rounds traveling from left to right in the car supports the claim that they originated from the back left seat where Melly was positioned." They even had Juvie's mother testify that it is Melly who got in the back left seat.
Can you state your name? Your full legal name for the jury?
I'm Leon Phillips.
Okay. And are you related to one of the victims in this case?
Yes, I am.
How so?
I'm his mother.
And who is that?
Christopher Thomas.
Ms. Phillips, did you see who entered into the occupants who entered into that gray Jeep?
Yes.
Do you recognize where your son entered that gray Jeep?
Yes.
Which seat, if you can identify for the jury?
He got in the back seat on the right-hand side.
Did you recognize the individual that got into the back seat on the left side, the rear driver's side?
Yes.
And who was that individual?
Janelle.
But Melly's lawyers responded with reasons of how Melly might not be responsible, as they referred to the original evidence of the prosecutors admitting there was no firearm found.
So the first thing is I didn't have a firearm, so I can't know which firearm I'm going to use in order to replicate any of my tests. So I can't make tests for this determination because I don't know what was used.
Okay.
Although evidence found inside Bortlen's house is concerning, as it added even more witness tampering charges to the case.
Melly's co-defendant YNW Bortlen was booked into a Miami jail Monday night and is being held behind bars on an out-of-county warrant. We just confirmed the warrant is out of Broward County for witness tampering. The warrant obtained by Law and Crime Network states as follows. On or about April 10, 2023, continuing through and including July 22, 2023, Cortland Henry, aka Bortlen, along with others, did unlawfully and knowingly engage in misleading conduct toward another person with the intent to cause or induce them to withhold testimony. The warrant continues the alleged witness had been summoned by the legal process to the jury trial of Jamel Dimmons, aka YNW Melly. The dates in the warrant are important. Jury selection for Melly started in mid-April, and a judge declared a mistrial on July 22nd, the same day the warrant claims Bortlen allegedly tampered with the witness.
Because it was reported. Here are the images of notes discovered during the raid of Bortlen's home. There's drawings of where the jurors were sitting along with a description of what they looked like. This led detectives to believe that Bortlen was gonna go after one of them to cause a mistrial.
To keep it real, this is sloppy. Bortlen, how the you gonna have the notebook of the jurors in your house? Holy shit! Like, come the on! It's like doing a and having the surveillance tape in your DVD player or something like that. You know what I mean? Like, come on, bro! Like they raid your crib and the surveillance footage of the is in your DVD player. They be like, oh, okay, thank you, brother. This can't be at your crib.
But it gets concerning when you find out that Bortlen will validate all the evidence the prosecutors use against Melly, as there's still the question of why and how did rapper Fredo Bang pick up Melly from the crime scene on that night.
And Chris Thomas are. So what you're also going to find out is while Mr. Devins is out there on the side of the road, 4 in the morning, 4:42 specifically, he sends a drop pin, digital homing beacon, to his current location, to one of his friends, Frederick Givens. Frederick Givens is also involved in the music industry, and he asked to be picked up. Frederick Givens, then about 11 minutes later, is sent another drop pin, where Mr. Devins has moved a couple of meters. What you're going to find out as well, though, is these digital leashes, they have more than just phone calls.
But they also want to use evidence from a Facebook post of Melly hanging out with Young Thug, as they are trying to say that Melly acted in motivation for the Red Street Team. The reason for this is so they can claim that street teams are a factor, which would make Melly's crimes punishable with longer sentences.
Same thing, the use of the slap term, 5-point star, snake. He's saying he's YSL, he's hanging with him. And he puts up his YNW for life hashtag on it with Mr. Devins has the big B hand signs displayed.
Okay, and see with individuals again, I'm assuming that's also Young Thug. That's also unknown.
Yes.
Also important to your investigation, correct?
Yes.
Also publicly available for anyone to see and capture.
But this is when Melly got angry in court. He didn't care if the prosecutors used that photo or not as evidence. This led to the report saying, today's hearing marks the first time Melly publicly went against his legal team's advisement in open court, as Melly was seen yelling at his lawyers.
Yes, sir. Against our advice, our client wants to proceed.
People in the court heard that Melly was saying, I don't care, I'm not a no team, they can't prove that.
I'm aware that 924-071. Call for an automatic stay while
they were aggravators. They go to membership in a gang. There are things that the jury would have to find before going into penalty.
Not aggravator, that's the death penalty. Aggravator, that's the gang enhancement itself, Your Honor. That was charged. He was charged in committing the murder for the president of the gang, which is an aggravator in terms of the guilt.
Something that they would have to find by way of an interrogatory.
Yes.
However, there's more people that came out suggesting Melly planned this out. One O Block member claims that Melly came to King Von and asked him questions about how to deal with people. In case you're unaware, King Von was involved in a lot of crime and would have been the perfect person to ask the question. Before King Von passed, he leaked the secret to O Block members.
Did Von really tell you that Melly told him that he was two friends?
He ain't come out and say, like, we got into an argument. And so, you know, if you know, when people could say something without saying it. And so he told me, like, once I posted what I posted, Von was mad at me. Bro, why you put up there, bro? Well, out the bam, I'm like, you sitting up here, like, you know the love we got. You do this for us. but you gonna trust that his two friends? And he said, them was trying to extort him. And so I'm like, if they was trying to extort him, then why are you still around them?
But Bortlen's plea deal is the worst thing for Melly by far. As predicted, Bortlen took the plea deal. He also agreed to a proffer, which means he's talking. The sentence is for accessory of the crime. He will do 10 years minus time served and 6 years on probation. We've already requested his deposition in the civil case. Academics would explain what's really happening as he wrote, the judge says on both charges Bortlen pled no contest to, that he has to provide a factual basis for him to accept the plea. It means he has to tell a factual story of how he committed accessory to the crime, which confirms the crime happened. It's a gonna plea, except with the proffer, he can't say yes, ma'am. He has to sing like Franklin.
I did tweet out saying people are upset. I said this is a gonna plea. This is a gonna plea. This isn't a plea saying you have to tell on him, but this is a plea that you're going to have to provide all the details that they were missing to convict him. And that's why it's a gonna plea. Why do I say he signed a gonna plea? Because YNW Melly, and I watched the case, we covered it. YNW Melly's case is that, number one, you guys have not done a job to prove that this is actually they have proved, but prove that this is a homicide with this person being the offender. Also, the accessory after the fact plea confirms that Bortlen, that's kind of like almost like a sub part of a conspiracy, except you weren't with the conspiracy at first. You came in after the fact. What that proved is that they came in, what that proved is that Bortlen worked with someone after he acknowledged that a took place in trying to cover it up. You hear what I just said? When pleading to an accessory to after the fact, you have to acknowledge that the happened and you assisted someone or in some way to cover the. Now, if Melly's statement is, how do we know, and then secondly, how do we know who did it? Because they said it was a drive-by.
As Bortlen is required to tell exactly how the crime happened. When he tells police Sack Chaser and Juvie passed from a situation inside the car, Melly will be found guilty. Even the judge was surprised at how good of a deal Bortlen got. As the judge said, I don't know how your lawyers pulled this off.
And it's my understanding that you want to resolve both cases today. Is that correct? Yes. And that resolution is an agreement you've reached with the state, the terms of which are as follows. Number one, in the 19 case, you're going to plead no contest to both counts of accessory after the fact. In the 23 case, you're going to plead no contest to all 4 counts as charged. In exchange for that, the state is going to null process, that is, drop the 2 first-degree. In exchange for that, I'm going to adjudicate you guilty on the 2 accessory counts as well as the tampering count. I'm going to sentence you to 10 years in Florida State Prison.
From 5 life sentences to 10 years in prison, it's a great outcome for Bortlen. But a new report came out saying Lil Wayne and Kodak Black's attorney Bradford Cohen says Bortlen has bit the cheese and is likely to flip on rapper Melly after accepting plea deal.
All right, let's talk YNW Melly and YNW Bortlen. He is now doing the triple Lindy. For those youngsters that don't know what the triple Lindy is, it is when you do several flips off a high dive, and he will be flipping. He is going to be tell-all about anything he knows about the double case, and they will know if he's telling the truth or telling a lie when he gives his full quote-unquote confession as to what happened that evening. And that's what happens. A lot of times where guys are in the prison for 4 or 5 years awaiting trial and looking at a life sentence, and they're offered 10 years where they'll be home probably in another 3 years that he'll serve, he decides to flip and become a cheese eater. And that's what happens a lot of times on these cases. And I was expecting it to happen a lot sooner than it did. He held out for quite some time. But long story short is it looks like he's going to flip. And it makes the case on YNW Melly, depending on what he says, which I anticipate he'll say that YNW Melly is responsible.
Even 6ix9ine wrote, Bortlen just accepted his plea deal with prosecutors. Melly is cooked. I've been told you about all these rap guys years ago, but since they were scared of how big I was, everyone singled me out.